Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Well, I'm here to talk to you today about food. Anybody interested in food? Anybody interested in safe food? Great. We put food in our mouths a couple hours every day, right? And our children eat food. It's something on our minds all the time. FoodLogiq is the leading software as a service technology platform for the food industry. And let me go the right way. We really are on a mission to map the world's food supply chain so that it's a safer food chain, as well as enabling consumers to make better decisions about the food they eat. We actually envision a world where there's no more foodborne illnesses at all, that the brands are able to represent the food they eat with confidence, so that when consumers want to either attend their restaurants, their grocery stores, or buy their food manufactured products, have confidence to know that the ingredients are traceable back to where they came from, what happened to them along the way in the supply chain, and how soon they arrived to where they were about to consume them. In the last 2 years, we've experienced significant growth from our customers. We actually began the platform 7 years ago when Canada had a mad cow disease scare, and we're looking to trace every head of cattle through all of Canada. From there, Whole Foods, when they launched their Responsibly Grown program, came to us to help them build what we call the barn, which is where all suppliers that sell produce to Whole Foods must go and implement information about pesticides used, where it was grown, so that they can, with confidence, tell us that the produce was grown responsibly. Today, throughout Whole Foods, meat, bulk, egg, cheese, supplements are all suppliers are in the FoodLogiq platform. You can see some great brand names on here. As you know, these brands are making decisions to go with FoodLogiq because the market is driving them to. Consumers are driving brands to be focused on the food traceability and food quality. So when you think about, first of all, the clean food claim, they have to be able to back that up. In the past, and you'll hear in a minute one of our customers talk about a restaurant may ask a distributor, is that food grass-fed? And the distributor might say yes. They had no way of verifying that. Today, brands must verify, they must know, they must prove to consumers exactly what is in the food that they're selling. FSMA regulations were implemented a couple years ago, but they're truly on the minds of everybody in the food industry because it does require that they trace back today one step and also be able to trace forward. Well, that doesn't seem good enough for me, I'm sure not for you or for your children, right? You don't want to just know where it came from if there were 8 other steps along the way. In fact, there's 20% of the food supply in the United States comes from overseas. So there's lots of demand from consumers to know if you're saying you've got clean food, prove it. Then you have the law. So the law is beginning to implement true regulations so that they do have to be prepared and answer that. So that is kind of driving our momentum and success. They're struggling. They have these mounting issues. In the past, they've used spreadsheets and emails to be able to track. So in order to explain a little bit better, I think it's great for, let me let you hear directly from a customer. This is Bear Burger COO.
A lot of scramble, right, prior to FoodLogiq. It was a lot of scramble, a lot of where do we find this information, reaching out to vendors, and I think we're seeing over the course of at least the last 5 years, 5 to 10 years, that what the customer is wanting and demanding is changing, right? And so now they're wanting local and they're wanting all these different sustainability traits. And so there was this good window of time where, from a restaurateur's perspective, we had to rely on the distributor. That was it. We went on their word. We were like, okay, like, it's grass-fed, right? And they said yes, and we were like, all right, good enough, right? But now we have the solution, right? So we can say, we want your certification, upload it. We want your nutritionals, upload it. We want all this stuff. Now there's a housing unit for it, and you know, where there's the demand, there's a supply, right? So the demand from the customer is saying we want this stuff, and we have to provide it. We can't just make it up. So I think that exactly what Arturo was saying is that housing unit, that software that can pull it all in together, is absolutely the direction that we have to go because it's not only a requirement from our side, but it's being demanded by our customers on a daily basis.
So it's a big marketplace. It's about a $19 billion market. That's just for traceability of food, as you can imagine. So we sell our product in modules. The manage and monitor is kind of where we typically start. So if you're a food company, as I said, either restaurant or food retailer, you need to know who your suppliers are. You need to understand that the products they're selling you are truly responsibly grown. So they're able to upload information, require information. They can even take our mobile app, go out and do an audit in the field of that supplier and make sure what they're telling them is accurate. And then we also have incident reporting, and I think a great example of that, we just released an ROI with Buffalo Wild Wings. Right before March Madness this year, they wanted to roll out FoodLogiq to all their restaurants because March is their biggest month of the year. And the ROI for them is that an incident doesn't have to be something where somebody's ill. It can be that a bag of chicken is leaky, tomatoes are too ripe. So they're able to report that incident immediately back to the distributor, get a credit, ROI, and also improve quality, right? So now quality is improved, profits are improved, product safety is improved. From there, track and trace is really where the industry looks to us as the innovative leader. And we're looking for funding, which I'll get to in a minute, to really help take this globally and become truly known as the traceable engine for the entire industry. We're able to, with Chipotle today and others, label a product at the origination at the farm, scan that product in. If it's a tomato and it goes to a processing house where it becomes salsa, gets another label and the other ingredients that are put in that are labeled. Then when it arrives at the restaurant, they scan it in, and now they know every step of the way, all the way back to the origination, where a product came from. If they have a quality incident and report it, now they can trace and see what other stores got this item from that distributor. Maybe where else did they send it? Traceability is core to the food industry, and FoodLogiq is the platform. When you see the brands that we have that have already invested, Subway, major brands like that, have adopted our platform all within the last year. Withdrawal management for recall and response really closes the loop. Today, when there's a food recall, and I'm sure you all remember them. I don't know if you remember the cookie dough recall recently when General Mills had a problem with the flour. There is a recall every single day being sent out by the FDA. We're able to now automate completely the process where in the past it used to be a phone call or you'd have to track it manually. We send texts, we send emails. We're able to consolidate that information so you know where there's a hot spot in a problem. So we've truly automated and become the platform for food quality and safety in the entire industry. We also have built it with open APIs, which means that we can integrate with temperature monitoring. So another example has been where you've got food in a truck. Well, what if that truck goes out of temperature? You need to know that with the food. So we're able to integrate with temperature sensors. We're able to integrate with menus so that if we want to put in data so that when you see a restaurant menu, to be able to know that FoodLogiq has traced it from the beginning. So we are the platform, we have open APIs, and we can integrate to become the standard for quality and safety across the entire food industry. I'm running a little bit behind in time because of the little snafu, but I'm going to keep going. We've got some great customers that you can see here that have all joined our product within the last year to 2 years. I'm also here pleased to announce that we are doing a Series B fundraising. We announced this morning on the wire that Renewal Fund, which is a great vision-based fund, mission-based fund out of Vancouver, Canada, it will be our lead investor. We're looking to do an equity round to enable us to grow our platform continually, SaaS platform, and we'd love to talk to you about it. So we do have a booth inside. Love to have you stop by and see us so we can set up and have conversations and give you some more information. Thank you all very much.